Okay, this is your definitive guide for when you've got a bicep tendon injury, maybe you've got some pain, you've overdone it, maybe even a tear or even surgery, for what exercise you've got to do and what order, because it's not all about just doing bicep curls and hoping to get better. Because if that was the case, it would be better by now. Now, if you've had an injury like I have in my distal bicep tendon, you realize that you don't get better if you rest it, and you don't really get better if you just do standard bicep curls or rows. You've got to do a systematic, progressive set of exercises starting from one end and moving to the other. So I'm going to go through what you should be doing, what exercises, and when. So what we're going to focus on is bicep curls, but there's 3 types we need to go through. First one is isometrics. Second, eccentrics. And then third, concentrics, which is probably what you're used to in just building your biceps up in the first place. Now, I'm going to give you options. We're going to go through dumbbell options. So if you're in the gym using a dumbbell weight, I'm going to give you band options if you're at home and you need to use bands, and also a closed chain option using a bar, which is very interesting. So let's start from the start. Okay, the first one we're going to do is isometric loading. Now, extremely important when you've got an acute level injury, so a tear, or you've got a really raging tendinopathy, or you've just had surgery, and you're not allowed or cannot simply do dynamic movement. So it's static, isometric is static, and what it does is it starts increasing the tone and the strength of the tendon at a low level and gets you started. It's also really good for pain relief. So when you're doing a bicep curl but isometric, all you're doing is sitting there in one position. The load of this dumbbell is going that way. So my tendon is switched on all the time. What I want to do with an isometric though is keep myself at 90 degrees the elbow. That's the best place you can go. So if you're too far down, the tendon's lengthened, it's too hard. Too far up, there's not much load there because of the weight here, all right? The weight sort of shifts up vertically, plus your tendon shortens. So I would sit with all isometrics, sit at a 90-degree angle here, okay? Just make sure that their shoulder's not pop forward like this, okay? You've got a weak shoulders, there may be half the issue why you've got the bicep tendon injury, but you need to work on posture while you're doing this. Now, the load is going to be quite important. This is 4 kilos. You may think 4 kilos, you know, I've been used to doing 20s. You'd be surprised how hard it is if you hold it for a certain amount of time. Now we're talking at least 10 seconds. Realistically, you've got to build to 30 seconds. So if you can't go more than 10 seconds, this is too heavy, all right? So adjust that weight so you can hold it in your palm. Now you don't have to grip, you can just hold like that. You don't have to grip it at all, you just hold like that for that 30 seconds. Preferably you're gonna push it up to a minute, okay? And you'll be doing about 3 to 6 of those, all right, on that injured side. So you can do a dumbbell version and adjust the weight. If you don't have that at home, you can do a banded version. Now, again, it depends on what band you've got. Obviously, blue is reasonably heavy. And you just put that on your foot, put it in your hand like that. Now you can just lift your foot up, get it to there, and then there's the load. So there's a constant load going down. So there's no real difference to that and that. You just got to work on, hey, what is my load here? The only subtle difference is this is constantly pulling me down, okay? It's pulling me down, it's not pushing me down. So there's a slight variation there, but not much. So those two will be really good. Do the same thing, build 30 seconds, go to 60 seconds, okay? Doing the reps and sets on that. The closed chain version, which some people like a little bit more. Sometimes these bands and weights is just a little bit too much. People just can't even hold it, or they don't have it. In the gym, you can use a Smith machine or a bar set up like this. You can actually also do this at home by putting your hand under a table, all right? So I'm gonna go under that, right in the middle, and then simply push up, okay? So now I'm pushing up against resistance, which is a little bit different than what I was doing before. I was holding and stopping something lower, okay? Here, there's no bar lowering down on me. I'm actually pushing up. So to be honest, this is an alternative, but I like doing it as well. So give yourself options. You could do dumbbells, you can do bands, you can do a bar. So here, I get myself the same sort of position, 90 degrees roughly here, push up, and this is the maximum you can push up without pain. Same with the dumbbell and the band. Get the dumbbell weight and the band weight, the maximum you can do without pain for that time. Because a lot of people ask, how heavy do I go? How hard do I push? As hard as you can, as long as there's no pain. So if you get the point where you're getting like, yeah, but 20 seconds it gives me a bit sore, you're pushing too hard. So back it off a bit, all right? Try and keep that consistent level of load the whole way through that set. And then obviously you rest for like 45 seconds, a minute in between, okay, and let it recover. So same reps and sets with that. So it's a really nice option to do. Now that's your isometric, and it always has to be done prior to eccentric, depending on though where you're at in your rehab. Some people are sort of through their rehab and they just need to start eccentrics. If you're very acute or you're right at the start of the rehab, especially after surgery, it's always going to be isometrics. Now, if you are struggling with your rehab and you need specialized, structured physio exercise rehabilitation programs for your injury and surgery, then do yourself a favor and head to physiorehab.com or click on the website link in the description below. If you like the content on this channel, then hit the subscribe button, because the bigger the channel gets, the more free videos I can put up for you to watch. So, second phase is you move from isometrics to eccentrics. Now, eccentric meaning lowering down or lengthening where the load is. So if I was doing up for a bicycle, that's concentric, down, which is the lengthening phase, is eccentric. We want the load on the eccentric phase only for these sort of exercises, not the concentric. So you get a easy or rest period up on the concentric and you load on the eccentric. Some people in the gym call it negatives. Regardless, if I'm going to do a banded version of this, put that band on your foot, easy peasy, in your hand, okay, and there's your load. Now, you're not allowed on eccentric to pull up with one hand, okay? There's too much load there, all right? So what I'm going to get you to do, hand under, and lift it up. So it's half the load, okay? Well, you could use as much on that other hand as you want to make it as minimal load as you possibly like, I don't mind. But when you then come down, you have to then hold it, either open palm or closed palm, doesn't matter. There's your isometric at the top, and then you eccentrically lower that down. So you're lengthening down the bicep and the tendon all the way to the bottom. Don't lift it up by yourself. Grab it, pull it back up, and return to the start. So each rep is like that. They're slow, controlled, 3 or 4 seconds down, and then pick it up again, and then you do reps like that. Now, eccentrics, I would do, not just sort of 3 sets of 10 or anything, try and do, if you can, 36 reps for your, in that session. 6 reps, 6 sets. There's your 36, okay? So you're getting lots of rest period, lots of recovery time. What that allows you to do is go as heavy as you can with the band or the dumbbell, all right? Again, same rules, without pain, all right? So I've got to be able to do 36 reps of that, and every 6 reps, it's the maximum amount of load I can tolerate with no pain through every set, okay? Once you know that, you'll adjust the weight and adjust the band. So the weight, no real difference there. Pick it up. Set your shoulder back, so make sure you get that in the right position, okay? From there, hold, slowly lowering down. Subtle difference again, weighted. Here, there's not much load, you'll notice, okay? The load starts increasing as gravity kicks in, okay? And then when you go down here, it drops off again, right? With the band, the maximum load is at the top, and as you go lower, because the band is getting shorter, the load actually decreases as you go down. Some people like banded stuff first before dumbbells, okay? Because it's a variable load. It's a little bit kinder. As that tendon lengthens, and remember, a tendon is more vulnerable when it's in a lengthened position. So if you've got a tear or an injury in that tendon, you'll find it harder, down at the bottom there. If you've got heaps of load there, that could be an issue. So using a band sometimes is a preference for some people to try and get through the initial phase of strengthening on the eccentric part, and then switch to your dumbbell. So do I have a closed chain version of that? Yes, I do. That's where you come back to your Smith machine or your bar setup like this, and you're going to do the same setup as you had before for the isometrics. But what you're going to do, if I'm going to do this one as my eccentric loading backwards, I step forward. Now, the further forward I step here, the harder it's going to be here, all right? This hand is ready for the concentric phase. So I'm going to go lower myself backwards like a row. There's my bicep eccentric phase, and then grab this one, and then easy peasy up here. What this does is it just gives you that row type movement of the bicep. I probably wouldn't do this instead of. I'd probably add this on, because what it's helping you with is that row type movement, especially if you're going to move to things like TRX rows or prone rows, anything where you're doing pull-ups where, say, the bar is fixed, because most people, if they've been used to doing pull-ups, you'll find it really hard to get back to with a bicep tendon injury. So this will help segue into that, where you're going to learn that sort of movement where something's fixed and you're pulling up and moving, because hey, you can't do a pull-up at the moment, all right? But if you're going to go back to that, this will be a good one to add into your program. Now, just on that note, if you want to advance that one, you can use a TRX. So for this, good thing about TRX is you can just use one arm at a time. What you can do is start off, okay, where am I going to extend? I would come forward to there, and then you can lower back with one arm. There's your bicep tendon, eccentric loading, closed chain position. This hand's going to get ready to pull on the other strap, and then when you pull forward, you're doing it that way with two arms, okay? And put as much load as you need through that. What you're trying to do is give that a rest spread, because if you're not ready at this stage to do one arm rows, which you're probably not, and remember, concentric stuff early on is not going to get you better, otherwise you would have been better in the first place. You need to stick with the eccentrics, then use a TRX, especially if you don't have a bar set up like that and all you've got is a TRX. That's another really good alternative to do the same exercise. So final stage is going back to your concentrics, okay, which is the exercise that most people do for muscle building. So if you've done your isometric, your static loading, you've done your eccentric loading, which is going to be the most crucial one, and spend a lot of time building that up, not just a sort of small section. You may find the isometric is a small part of your rehab time. The eccentric should be a big part of your rehab time, and really get the load increased, okay? Don't just do a small load and then expect to jump to doing, oh, let's just do bicep curls and away we go. You'll have to spend time there and increase the load as much as you can. So your final stage, like I said, concentrics. Now, when you're doing concentrics, then you can start working on your form. You'll probably find you have to go right back to doing light weights again, okay? You won't be able to just jump into heavy weights. That's mistake number one. You have to be pretty humble and go back to a lighter weight and build that up. So when you're doing your bicep curls, just make sure that, are you doing them like this? Are you doing them with a hammer? I would do both, okay? And are you doing it with a full supination twist? I would do that as well, okay? So don't just do simply like this, and I probably would not use a barbell. That's your last thing when you're absolutely fine. Stick to the dumbbells or the band or the bar or the TRX or all four, okay, to keep it independent, okay? That is your key, because one side has got a good tendon, one side hasn't. Work on that. You'll still find your strength will not be the same, even though you recover from the tendon, because you haven't conditioned that muscle well enough, all right? So you need to work on, if this is my left arm, making sure that you're getting all the range up with a supinated grip, a neutral grip, all right, and then going from neutral and twisting through. The reason you're doing the twisting through is you use your bicep to help supinate your forearm, okay, because it's attached into your radius. So doing that movement there is going to be really crucial in your recovery, not just staying fully supinated. Get it from sort of either a little bit of a pronation or neutral grip and twist as you go through. So make sure you're doing all those. Don't forget about band options. It's a really nice way of doing a variable load. So like I said before, where your band down the bottom here, okay, is easy and it's harder as you go up. So as the muscle contracts and the tendon contracts, it's technically getting easier and stronger for that tendon, so the load increases. It's a really nice way to keep almost, as you shorten, to keep the load relative to how short it is, and as you lengthen, it eases it off. And again, like I said, some people like doing this heavy concentric before they go back to dumbbells, all right? And then of course you can do your bar. So that's just same as before, single arm, all right? So working on rowing like this with a single arm and just getting that mechanics right. It also helps you work on your row mechanics. Some people injure their biceps because their row mechanics are all out. So that'll help you with, okay, if I'm going to do a row, I need to make sure I'm pulling back at the shoulder and coming through. And then making sure when I return, my shoulder stays back, and then when I finish, then it comes forward. You can do that on a TRX. So same drill. If I'm going to do one arm rows, not two arm, one arm, then you want to work on pulling through into there. Now the further I put my feet forward, the harder it's going to be. So the more on an angle I am, the harder the load is in there. So there's my guide. Whether you've got a pain or tendinopathy, an injury, or you had surgery, you need to focus on starting at the isometric end, building to that big phase of eccentrics, and then finally getting your concentrics and getting it stronger. See you next time. Okay, just as a heads up, if you become a member of this channel, you can get exclusive access to the exact exercises that we give our clients here in the clinic with the exact cueing, instruction, technique correction, so you can get your rehab done right. We're uploading over 700 of our new videos, so head to the members area and check it out today.